Hey everyone, it's Amanda here. I wanted to share a quick video for Motivational Monday on goal setting. I know that goal setting may sound like an odd topic to talk about for Motivational Monday, but let me share a little bit of a personal story as to why I think this is very motivating. Goal setting is very motivating. Growing up as someone with different abilities, it always frustrated me that I had to be a planner, that I had to set goals, that I had to plan things out in order to get them accomplished. You know, when I was younger, I didn't have the opportunity to really just get called up, by my friends and go out and do whatever I wanted. I also, was very limited by other people's schedules because I need so much help with doing some of the basic practical things that people do when they go out, like opening doors and pushing elevator buttons and just the physical things that need to get done when you're out in the street. Even simple things like putting a Metro card into, the buses or the subways. So I always had to make sure that when I was going to go out or when I was planning to do something, that there was going to be someone available to help me. So I spent a lot of time planning things around other people's schedules. Also, I had to always do my research when I wanted to go somewhere, specifically somewhere new, because I needed to make sure that the place was wheelchair accessible. So I had to take time to, call them and look them up and all kinds of things. So really planning, setting a goal, trying to accomplish something always required a lot of effort on my part, and I used to be very frustrated by that. Now as an adult, now that I have two children and I'm married and I'm the boss at my job, and I run my own two small businesses, planning and goal setting has become such a different experience for me. It's actually something that I feel very blessed by, and I'm actually grateful that I had to have all of those experiences because it made learning the process now as an adult more simple for me. So I want to talk about, how I go about setting goals, and then what I do to accomplish those goals. And it's really going to be a different process for everyone. So this is just my own, system that I do that I hope motivates you to really, set goals for yourself and not limit yourself, and to really, set an action plan in place so that you can achieve your biggest dreams. Because I do believe that if you know what your calling in life is, you know what you're supposed to be doing, no matter how big that vision is, if that's what you're meant to be doing, then you can definitely accomplish it. And I think that we are often only limited by our own minds and the limitations that we put on ourselves. So to start, the way that I usually start goal setting is I take a blank piece of paper, and I will actually post a picture of my goal setting process as well. Excuse me. But what I start off with is just my big vision. So for example, my big career vision is to be able to run my own summer camp that will eventually turn into just a year-round camping ministry program. I want to have my own camp, and I want to be able to, at that camp, work with young people who both have different abilities and have what we would call normal or have typical abilities. So that is my vision, and it's a very big vision that I have often been discouraged by. I genuinely believe this is my calling in life, and I have been discouraged because it seems like it's so huge, so big, so out of my reach. And for a long time, I just pushed that idea to a side as, just a silly dream that I have. But in going into the direct sales industry, which I never imagined myself being in or enjoying, I learned a lot about how I can make my big visions actually come true, especially if they are in line with what I believe is God's calling for my life. So what I like to do is take a blank piece of paper and I write down that big vision, and I'll make just this kind of mind map. So I will start jotting down my biggest dreams, the biggest things that I want without any barriers, right? So if you just took a second to think about whether it's your career goals or something in your personal life, or a combination of those, what is it that you would want to do, that you would want to be able to accomplish, if there were no limits, if there were no barriers, if nothing was stopping you, if finances weren't an issue, if people in your life weren't an issue, if your circumstances weren't what they are, if your circumstances were the ideal for you, what would you want to accomplish? And that's what I start with. I start writing those things. So for me, it would be things like, camp with a lot of space, somewhere near the water so that the kids could go swimming or fishing, somewhere that does see the season changes. So I would want somewhere where the kids could experience fall and could experience, snow. That's the kind of location I would want. So I start thinking about those kinds of things and I get all of those things down. And then I start thinking about, well, if I wanted to achieve all of these things, if I wanted to get this camp, what is it that I need to do to get it? And some of those things, at least for me right now, one of the biggest, barriers or obstacles to overcome to get a camp would be finances, right? I need to be able to have enough finances to either buy a property that is in a location that I want, or I need to be able to buy land so that I can build on that land the exact camp that I want. And all of that takes finances. So, with a family of 3 people and myself, so with a family of 4, and rent to pay and bills to pay and money that disappears from emergency expenses that I have to pay out, I started thinking, where am I going to get this money from? Now, for those of you who know, when I got into direct sales and I got into the Chloe and Isabel business, it was initially to satisfy an immediate need. I had to leave my camping ministry job that I had. I had no other work, and so I jumped into Chloe and Isabel as a quick way to make some cash until I could find another job. And what I wound up getting out of it was so much more. I mean, I didn't anticipate being with them for almost 3 years now. I thought I was going to get another job and that would be that. But I wound up loving what I was learning, and I wound up loving the community, and just the whole experience so much that, I moved into leadership with them and I stayed with them for all this time. And then I loved the idea of being my own boss and running my own business and being able to serve others. That's honestly the biggest thing that I love about the opportunities that I had through my small businesses, is being able to connect with new people and being able to serve them, and solve an issue for them that they have. So I joined La Señorita Jolie to be able to better serve the community, by offering something else, by being able to make myself the one-stop shop so people could get clothing and accessories from me. And it was also just something that I became really passionate about. I really wanted to pursue being my own boss and having a more flexible schedule and not just being dependent on the, so to speak, 9 to 5 job, right? So that kind of goes into my why a little bit, but I will definitely do another video on that. But I decided to stay with these businesses not only to satisfy an immediate need now, because I do have a full-time job that I love and I'm very passionate about, but I decided to keep doing these businesses because, 1, I love the community, 2, I get so much experience, and I've learned so many tools and so many things that have helped in my personal life, and I see how those things can apply to my future career in working at a camp and owning and running a camp. It's basically going to be my own business. So, I've gotten a lot of experience now through these small businesses so that I can one day do that. And then the finances, right? I want to be at a place where I do not need to use my small business income anymore for my immediate needs, but that it's money I will be able to put aside to save up to one day be able to purchase this camp and all of the things that I need in order to successfully run a camp. So that is, that is my big vision goal, is to have a camp. And then my smaller, the smaller steps to get there are running these two businesses successfully. So what does that mean? What does it mean for me to run these two businesses successfully? Well, in order to do that, I obviously need to make sales, because that is the way that I'm going to make money, in order to save up to have this camp. So how am I going to make these sales? What do I need in order to make sales? Well, obviously I need customers, right? I need a customer base. I need people who are interested in the products, who love the product, who are going to continue to come back to my business for the product, and also who are just going to love the experience of shopping with me so much that they're going to be willing to make referrals to other people so that my customer base can continue to grow. So what do I need in order to do that, to get those customers? Well, in order to get those customers, I need to step out of my comfort zone, and I need to be able to promote my businesses. I need to be able to show the products. I need to be able to connect with people in a way that's meaningful to them, so that they see the benefit of my business, they see the benefit of my products, and they'll want to purchase. So I don't know if you kind of are getting the gist, but from this big vision, I was able to break it down into these smaller and smaller things. And then, within my businesses and within getting customers, I need to meet certain goals. I need to have certain goals every month in order to, achieve the things that I want to achieve, to be able to call both of these small businesses successful. So as you can see, it's a process that you can kind of go on forever and ever. Ideally, if you can break your big vision, big goal down into daily tasks, maybe for you it's hourly. I actually have an hourly Erin Condren calendar, where literally every hour of my day is broken down. I can show it to you. I'll take some pictures for you guys. But yeah, every day is broken down hourly into the things that I need to do that day in order to be successful, both in my personal life and in my professional life. So I just wanted to encourage you guys today to really dream big. Think about your big vision. What is it that you want to be able to achieve, to accomplish, if there were no barriers? And then start considering some of the barriers. What is it that you need to do to get to that big dream? What is it that you need to do to overcome those big barriers? I believe that you can do it. I am on my way to doing it. I have already accomplished so much. I've been able to break barriers. So yeah, happy Motivational Monday. Please comment with what your big goals are. I'd love to know what your visions are. Thank you guys. As you can see, my little guy is home, so I'm going to sign off now. But thanks so much. Happy Motivational Monday.